Hey everyone, welcome back to Hempin Happiness. It is Beth Panati here, aka Cannabeth. I am the host today. Dee Dee Taylor is taking a little time off, well deserved, and I have a special guest here. This is Corgan Hobbs. He works with the Joint Chiropractic, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does. He's one of our wellness partners, and what that means is we can refer people that we know to quality places around Louisville, quality people. So tell us what you do at the Joint.
Of course. So here at the Joint Chiropractic, we are an interconnected family of over 970 different chiropractic clinics all around the nation.
Wow.
We also walk-in care, so you don't have to worry about setting appointments and fitting into your busy schedules, because when you're in pain now, you need to deal with that pain now, not wait 2 weeks. We're also cash model, so we can keep it really affordable for you guys with a good flat rate for everybody. Our wellness plan comes in at just $79 a month, and it'll give you 4 adjustments in a month, so we can keep you in weekly maintenance at less than $20 per. And my Middletown location's open 7 days a week. Most of the locations across the nation are. My Springhurst one is closed on Sundays, but we can still get you taken care of plenty of other times throughout the week, and evening availabilities on weekdays. Mm-hmm. So come on by for your first visit at any one of my locations. I'd be more than happy to get you guys taken care of for just $29 for your first visit.
Ooh, yeah, and I tried it out. I enjoyed that, getting adjustment. I'd never done that before, and I was scared. So all the doctors there, I love Dr. Brenda. I mean, everybody's been amazing, and I've been to both locations, and it's just so easy. You can walk in if you need to. Yeah, exactly.
Yep, we are so convenient and affordable. All our doctors have different specialties and modalities, so using all of them together, not only do you get a good little network of friends going, but you have a lot of different strengths to be able to facilitate some full body wellness, especially with our friends over here at 502 Hemp and their lovely products too.
That's right. We can use all of that. So we're going to talk about a fun subject today, and that is psychedelics. So, it's kind of becoming a new thing, out on the market. A lot of people that maybe have been afraid of it are hearing more about the research and what it does to your brain. People are, ketamine's a big thing now that's you have to do under supervision, and it's very, carefully administered, under a professional's watch. But that's really helping a lot of people with PTSD, trauma-related things. So, but there's other ones, there's MDMA, which is Molly or ecstasy.
Which they actually are legalizing clinical trials for in the state of Kentucky. I think it's starting in August that they're going to be doing that over at maybe Sullivan or one of the other colleges in Kentucky that starts with that.
Yeah. So, the thing is, not having these things banned, we were not able to research things. So, when people don't know, how it's going to help in a medical aspect or with your wellness, right now we're just on the cusp of trying to understand all of that. But, back in the day, we just did it for fun, because that's what you do. That's before you have all the serious trauma and shit that we got to kind of deal with now. But, there's, LSD or acid. That was probably the first psychedelic I tried, maybe around the age of 16.
Acid was your first?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Because that was easily available, and everybody, that's kind of, I'm old, Corgan,
You are
this
not
was the 80s, No, exactly. So this was around 1986, so that, and cannabis, everybody was using it. It was, it's just, I was around that culture, and I grew up here in Middletown, so I didn't live in a real big city, but that was easily available, and I always enjoyed it. I had so much fun with friends. I have all of those experiences were memorable that I still remember them to this day. It's just fun. You laugh, giggle. But mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, that's really kind of what we're going to speak on today, because talking to you at the Joint, I did a little pop-up, and Corgan and I actually got to have a little conversation that wasn't about work. So we started talking. I was talking about the new shroom-fused products that we have in, and I'll mention those again later. You can ask some more. And so and mushrooms are kind of a thing. People are looking at microdosing, and we're finally getting to do a little research on just the calming feeling, or how taking more can be very transformational. Like taking one trip, as you call it, can make changes later on in your life. And I kind of came to realize that back in I think it was 2017, 2018, I'd done mushrooms with friends at a lake, and it was just the best, funnest, laughy experience. We had the best evening. We were in a 1970s like cabin, so it had not been updated. So we were back when there was shag carpet, crazy stuff on the walls. It was hilarious. We just had a good time. But, I read later on that, those effects can kind of stay with you. And I noticed after we did that, things in my life started to change. I just felt happier for some reason. And I didn't know if it was just that experience, having fun, you raise your energy, your good vibes, or whether, it did have something to do with those mushrooms creating new synapses in your brain. It helps neurons connect differently, create new pathways. So that could have been it. So I want you to tell about kind of the experience that you had talked to me about that was kind of life-changing.
Of course. So psilocybin for me saved my life when I first took it, at least in my personal purview of everything, because I've struggled with a lot of different mental issues throughout the years. And as a little disclaimer, if you are struggling with heavy mental issues, do not just jump into psychedelics. No. It can be dangerous. Right. And they're not for everybody.
It can lead to psychosis, even cannabis can.
Yes. Yeah. So make sure you're doing it with a good set and setting, and with a good set of friends, and with a good set of activities planned for your day.
Be in nature.
Yes.
Rule number one. Yeah. Yes. It's where you are, who you're with. 100%. That determines bad trip or good trip, usually.
Yes. Back to my story. But get that disclaimer out of the way. But I, for years, when I was in high school, I would go through massive bouts for a month and a half stretches of time where every other night or every night I'm having horrifying amounts of sleep hallucinations and sleep paralysis, and having rabid dogs just gnashing their teeth and their slobber dripping down on my face. And I'm just stuck there seeing it for 5 minutes, unable to move until the vision fades. If you've seen Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, that giant stone face that the basilisk slithers out of, that kind of dead old face just hanging over me. One night I woke up and was in a bed that I'd never seen, in a room bathed in red light, and that vision stayed for about 5 minutes, and I thought I had been sold into sex trafficking or something. Did not go to sleep the rest of the night.
And that was happening just as a regular. This is not you taking anything
nope.
that. That is
I wasn't even drinking or anything. It was
right.
just sober me in high school.
Wow.
And then when COVID hit as well, I was starting to struggle a lot with depersonalization and derealization, and feeling like I'm stuck in a giant plexiglass cage and I'm just banging on the walls like crazy, watching an automaton that looks like me living my life. And I'm not feeling any of the emotions from this person. I'm not making any of these decisions. I feel completely disconnected from my own sense of self and being. And I'm a very empathetic person as well. Right. And having that absence of emotion, I was starting to get terrified that I was a sociopath. And that was breaking my heart into a million pieces. But the concept of psychedelics had always terrified me because of the hallucinations that I had had in my youth. But then I randomly had an article come up in my news feed one day that was talking about some of the research that had been done with psilocybin in conjunction with CPTSD from war veterans, from people with terminal illnesses, and the benefit that it gives in being able to help reframe their sense of mortality and giving them more just warmth and okayness and passing on to the next section of their journey. Addiction therapies, all kinds, the wide gamut of benefits from these things is absolutely astronomical. So after I saw that first article, I poured hours of research into this stuff because I was not about to jump into this water without knowing that it was going to be something that was going to be safe and something that would potentially have actual benefit for me. But that first night that I took those shrooms with my best friends, we had these little shroom chocolate bars that were orange and yellow and so beautiful. And it was just massive bubbles of different sizes. So you have no idea how much shit you're eating.
So
but
you're young enough where you get it all made into chocolate. You know, I'm back in the day where you're just trying to get those mushrooms down, chewing those things, and they taste
and
like
crying.
and you're like, I'm gonna do it. I gotta
And like
get
throwing up 30 minutes later. Yeah. I always do tea at this point when I do actual mushrooms like that. But
yes, we learn.
That first time that I did shrooms, though, like my soul and spirit just came right back down into my body. I smiled a real smile for the first time in years. I laughed a laugh that felt like it had genuine joy behind it and wasn't just a forced, like, social norm or whatever to be filling the moment.
Right.
And every once in a while, I'll still have a day or two that my soul just kind of leaves a little bit and I feel a little listless. But other than those one-off instances, I am back in myself 99% of the time ever since that first trip.
Wow.
And the more trips that I've had in the future, you learn more and more because it's kind of like building a relationship ultimately, because you're also building a relationship with this substance. A lot of these natural
like a teacher.
Yes, ultimately, just like Lady Aya, like these substances all have different gods and goddesses attributed to them and different deital forms. So you are kind of building a relationship with a figure, as it were.
Okay.
And within like, I think the third or fourth trip that I had gone on with psilocybin specifically, we were like out in a hammock at a park. And I remember I had like taken a hit for my bowl of some weed as well, which of course maximizes the spirituality of the trip and the potency.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to see all of the trees breathing together. And I like knew that, okay, literally everything is connected. Yes. And I had learned about the Wood Wide Web and like the micellar network that connects everything too. So it was like just further ingraining that.
Yeah, and you feel part of that. You can feel it and see it. That's what I like about, psilocybin and even LSD. It kind of gets rid of your ego and makes you feel more connected not only to yourself, but everything around you and everybody around you. Yeah.
And like, I almost could feel roots going down from my feet into the grass under me on that trip. There was also a point, if you guys are familiar with the MC Escher pointillism piece, where it's like the guy with the looking globe. The world kind of looked like that for a moment when we were walking back to the car. So like, it gives a lot of artistic inspiration as well, because I'm a very artsy person. So, and one other really crazy thing that I had, like 4 or 5 trips after that, was like, I turned all the lights off and I got in the shower and just had the water pounding down on me with a great album playing, and just let my mind paint whatever pictures it wanted to in that instance. And the entire album was just me living a music video basically, but I melted through colors that I've never seen before in my sober state. I was lucky enough to be able to have a conversation with one of my patron gods as well and actually meet him. So that was just like awe-inspiring and mind-boggling. But like right after I had stepped out of the shower, like the album that I had put on was ending, and then of course my Spotify just starts randomly putting other music on. But the first song that it decides to put on is a random Marilyn Manson song that I hadn't heard before from one of his newer albums. And the first portion of the song is just like demonic garbling, talking about like pulling people's eyes out and shit like that. It's crazy. And demons and all kinds of shit. But like, and I'm still in pitch black. So my mind is still painting shit. But I literally had this army of demons raise up behind me, and I forced every single one of them to dance with me. And I knew in that moment that that those demons don't control us.
Right.
We are in control of them in every moment. Right. We just have to show them who the fuck is boss.
That's right. I agree with that 100%. That's kind of what I do in my paranormal field too. I help people get rid of that fear. I'm like, if you show fear, they're going to take advantage of that.
Doormat
100%. Yeah. So yeah, that's funny. That I love that story. That's a good one. So let me try to think of my next question with that. So how do you feel about people trying it for the first time? I mean, are there certain people that you should say maybe shouldn't try it, or maybe try it in low dose, see how it goes?
If you already project like schizoaffective tendencies, it's probably not best to add fuel to a fire in that instance, unless you are like in a clinical setting with somebody.
Exactly.
But that is still not legalized just yet for the usage of those substances with that. So I would not recommend it to people that do have like really crazy stuff going on like that. Or if you have like really insane personality disorders going on, like dissociative identity disorders, like might not be best to have your alters all on that substance at the same time too. But especially like if this is your first time going into it, do your research. Read for multiple hours. Don't just pull up the first thing that's on Google and just be like, okay, I'm an expert now. It's a completely different world. And as a lot of different psychonauts will tell people, a lot of the psychedelic experiences you have, even though you can put together different bits and pieces into stories, some of the things that you experience are ineffable. And we literally don't have words to describe the sensations and the worlds that we're in.
Did we go? Come back. Here we go. We're still here.
So
yeah, it is hard to describe to somebody. You know, I can't tell you what it's going to be like because it's going to be different for every single person that takes it. It's what's going on in your mind. So that's why, if you do have, you know, certain dissociative disorders, schizophrenia, things like that, you know, it's going to affect your mind. It's going to affect the way those things work. But for the average person, you know, who we all kind of deal with anxiety, depression, you know, that's pretty average. I don't think it's a different diagnosis from most people. You know, we've just kind of become that, you know, the anxiety leads to the depression and back and forth. So, you know, I think it would be safe if you're dealing with those, I don't want to call them minor mental issues, but things normal, more common, right? I don't feel any fear of anybody trying it like that. Yeah, like you said, setting is number one. You know, do it with a friend. You know, find a friend that wants to try it too, because you can help each other. You know, sometimes you gotta talk somebody down off the cliff. Hopefully not literally.
But especially if it's your first time, like it's good to have another friend on it with you, but it's also good to have one sober person in the room as a trip sitter for your first time, because just you don't know how you're going to react. And it's good to have somebody that isn't under the influence of that same substance to be able to be that one driving force. It's like, hey, you need to sit your ass down. You're going crazy.
Yes, exactly. Or you need food, you need water.
Let's go do this art craft over here.
Yes, yeah. And you can stay focused on things like that and have a good time. Yeah. So with, you know, psilocybin is still illegal, of course, in Kentucky. Did they make it legal in Colorado?
I'm not sure about its legality in Colorado. I mean, I know it is in Oregon, but
yeah. So, you know, you can travel and get those psilocybin chocolates and things like that, and they're pretty good. Yeah, they don't all taste really good.
No, some of them do taste like sweaty gym socks.
And I was with a friend, and we're just trying to get them down. They're like, yeah, I'm trying to eat that chocolate, and then chasing it. But they kick in pretty quickly too. It's usually about 20 minutes
20 to 30 for me as well.
So but in the meantime, what we do have here is a little product we're going to talk about real quick. Now, these are our shroom fused. These are a really good flavor. This is our summer peach. We now have the banana taffy. If you like the chocolate, hitting the microphone. We have the dark chocolate. These are actually chocolate, not chocolate gummies, because people have asked me that. Little small little things, not too bad to eat. We have royal raz, we have watermelon. We sell them in 10 packs, we sell them in 4 packs, and we now have the little trial samples. That's a 2-pack. And so you can, you know, don't have to invest a lot to try a little bit. But with the 2-packs, you don't get to choose your flavor. And that's what Corgan tried, and not very yummy. So if you want to choose your flavor, you got to get a 4-pack. So I tried these. I've tried a lot of different silly shrooms, as they call them, or trippy shrooms. The Amanita, that is the mushroom that you think of in Mario, that red top with the little white things on it. I did not really like the feel of those Amanita mushrooms. Didn't feel a lot of effect. And they can be toxic in higher doses. So we didn't feel that was something we wanted to carry in our store. So come to find out, we get these in. And I'm like, okay, I'll try them. Not believing they're really going to do a whole lot, because, it is lion's mane, chaga, cordyceps, and reishi. Now, those mushrooms are called functional mushrooms. They're going to help with a lot of things. We do have functional mushroom products, and we'll talk about those on another day. But this has a trippy compound in it, and it's a proprietary nootropic blend. So we were kind of curious, what is in it. There's no THC, there's no psilocybin. So it is we had to call the company and find out. It is a tryptophan based compound. So I don't know exactly what that does, but it is the most similar to psilocybin that I've tried. So that's why I like this product. We're promoting this product hard, want people to try it, because it is very similar to that.
Tryptophan, like the same
like
in
the
turkey?
Right?
Oh my goodness!
So yeah, and it's like tryptamine as it affects your brain. So it can make you yawn a little bit, but also, reishi is good for sleep, so that could cause you to be a little drowsy. I have noticed you can feel a little bit drowsy off of them too, but they act on that same way. You still get that same feeling as you do the psilocybin. So I had Corgan, try them. What did you think?
So my husband and I did them when we were still packing for our July vacation. We went out on a little foray to Michigan for 4th of July weekend. And I was playing a video game for a few hours, like I was deep in like a robot city that's way underground, and I was like in it. Like I felt like I was really in this place. The body sensation is crazy. You can feel your limbs way more, but it's a sense of presence more than anything, and puts you in the moment, which I really enjoyed. The colors got way more vibrant. The blacks were so rich and dark, and when we eventually were sitting down to like get the rest of our shit in our suitcases, I'm like desperately trying to figure out what outfits am I going to pack. And I'm just staring at my closet, and I dress very loud, like all the time if I'm not at work. And I'm like, it's all just so beautiful. What am I going to wear? And it took like 45 minutes for me to pick like 2 outfits. But
you still had fun.
It was so much fun the whole time. And like it didn't feel like we were packing for all the hours that we were actually packing. So it was great.
What did Zach think about it?
He really liked them as well. Actually, he had done this same kind of gummies ages ago, and but he made a little bit of a mistake with them, because he took I think 2 or 3 of them, but then he also had a couple of gas station edibles.
Oh, that was probably the gas station edibles.
Yes, it was the gas station edibles, because they were like a couple 100 milligrams of question mark, and he took like 1 or 2 of those, and he said he felt like he was literally like in a 2D plane, and that all the walls were starting to like close in and stuff, and I had to like come home to take care of him. Don't do gas station edibles. If you're going to do any kind of edibles, please come over here to 502 and get their proprietary stuff. It's actually tested. It's actually like beneficial, and it's real. But since he wasn't doing gas station edibles this past time, he had a really fun time with it. It was perfectly normal. It was just like a normal little microdose would have been.
Right. That's
so it is
kind of
what
functional. I feel. So I like how it's pre-dosed. You can do 1, you can feel calm. You don't feel a lot of those visual effects. You just feel a little happy, more relaxed. 2, that is when you get into the visuals. That's what I noticed. And I had somebody come in and say, you don't tell people how quickly they kick in. So he did 4, headed home, thought he'd have time to get home. Well, they kick in, so about 20 minutes. So he's fine. He got home, but that is a thing. They do kick in really quickly. So that is something to be aware of. Don't do them till you're at the place where you're going to do them. But it is, dose dependent. You can do 2, you can do 3, you can do 4. I've had somebody say, don't take too many, it'll cause diarrhea. I said, how much is too many? He's like, I'm not going to tell you. So,
oh no.
and, you can dose that yourself. But yeah, once you try 1 and try that for a day, and then maybe next time you want to try 2, that's fine. But you do have to take them all at the same time to get that more intense effect. You can't, it's not like THC where you try part of it now and then you're going to get another high later. It kind of, it all needs to kind of go in at once if you want to go a little deeper. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to take on your day off, hang in the backyard with your dog and talk to the birds and the butterflies. That's a little mini vacation for me.
And there's really no hangover for it either that I've experienced.
And it does last about 6 hours. Mm-hmm. You're going to feel that effect. And yeah, I mean, we have tried these over the past few months. No ill effects reported. Excuse me. There is some bad stuff out there. They're called the diamond shrooms. That is not what we carry. So if you do hear about those, I think they had salmonella or something was going on, but they did make people sick. That is not the brand we carry, just to let you know that. And I had a customer the other day say he feels alive by using them. And that's an older gentleman that had never used any psychedelics. So it's cool that people are feeling alive.
Yes, and it can touch so many different people in so many different walks of life. And this compound has so much to offer people.
Does.
Mushrooms in general are literally what keep this entire planet functional.
Right.
So it only makes sense that functional mushrooms would help keep humans more functional and alive too.
That's right. We're all one.
We're all connected.
All one. We're all connected. So I want to thank you, Corgan, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And always, go check out Corgan at the Joint Chiropractic. He's amazing. Everybody there has been amazing. And come and check out our Shrimp Fuse. Thanks for listening.